Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Patriotic Cav, and we're talking about the Trump rally last night. There was some controversy with. Let me just say, first of all, it's amazing that Trump can still, after all this time, out of nowhere, just pull. I was watching the pre-show, and the pre-show had already 20,000 plus people there. I don't know what the final number was once everyone poured in, but it's crazy. Anyone thinking the whole MAGA Trump movement is dying down? They're not paying attention. What was trending on Twitter was hashtag Blacks for Trump. People on the left were very upset to see people of color, as they say, at the Trump rally. Because how dare they? Like former Vice President Joe Biden said.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
If you think outside our box, then you're a traitor to your own race. See, that's what it bothers the left so much. That's why this is even trending in the first place. Because the first thing they notice above all else is race. The best way you can describe it is MLK's dream was that he hoped one day that his children would be judged by the content of their character, not the color of the skin. The left want the exact opposite of that. They've always have. They want you to be judged by your skin color. They're the ones pushing for all black dormitories. They're the ones pushing for different graduation ceremonies for each individual race. It's modern day segregation, which goes back because the Democratic Party's always been the party of segregation. They're the party of Jim Crow. They're the party of slavery. They're the party of the KKK. They've every point in history, the left has taken the point of racism. They still do nowadays. They're doing it with these college dormitories. They do it with like movies on HBO. Watch these black movies. Go to these black restaurants. They're always segregating people. They don't want people to be together. America is trying something very difficult. Most people are going to flock to their own race in many cases. It's just the way it is for all people, white, black, Hispanic, Asian. And America said, hey, you know what? Let's try something different. Let's try to bring everybody together under the same roof, all different cultures. The whole, America is considered the great melting pot. No other country is considered that. No other country. What America is attempting is something very difficult. It's something very different. They are trying to bring together the best of all cultures and views under one roof, which is very difficult to do for humans. Because again, people are going to attach to their own race and their own background. What's familiar. It's just the way human nature is. There's no exception for any any group of people. Everybody does it. And I think it's a wonderful thing to live in a country where you have all different types of races and cultures. I think it's a beautiful, wonderful thing. The left does not. They hate it. Look at comments for Hodge twins or Candace Owens or Brandon Tatum. Some amazing people, smart people, great people. The Hodge twins are arguably my favorite YouTuber. They hate them. Read their comments and some of those vile racist stuff you ever read in your life, and it's all coming from the left. Because they think you're black. You owe us your vote. You owe us your allegiance because you were black. And that's why they get so pissed off, and that's why things like Blacks for Trump trend, because people on the left, they get pissed off and they talk about it. They tweet about it. It's like, how dare they? They're supposed to think the way we want them to think. All these terms like Uncle Tom, bootlicker, you're a traitor to your own race, you ain't black, this comes from the left, not from the right. Now, somebody on the left or somebody who's black thinks left-leaning, we don't call them an Uncle Tom. We don't call them a traitor to their own race. This is America. You think how you want. You can vote how you want. Racism is overwhelmingly on the left, and I hope more people realize that later on. Look at this guy right here. Blacks for Trump. Jews equals Jews for Hitler, because Trump gassed millions of blacks. It's insane, the comparison, and the left always makes a comparison to Jews and the Holocaust, but then they, like people like Gina Carano, they vilify and demonize and fire and smear because they made a comparison. So you should never compare anything to the Holocaust or Jews or World War II or anything that happened, but then they do it all the time, all the GD time. Look at this guy. Let's see. Trump was ready to work with Ice Cube while campaigning when Biden won and Trump signed funding for the HBCUs. While Biden decreased funding, Trump reached out to black leaders when he was president-elect. Biden told black people they can't get an ID. This tweet is dumb. And Trump's also for school choice. Trump also did criminal reform, which helped out a lot of blacks with nonviolent crimes. Of course, they said they're conveniently placed. They have to be planned. That's what they can't compute. They're like, if they're there, they have to be paid. They have to be planned. And if you say why, if they were honest, they'd be like, "There's no way a black person would think outside the leftist bubble. There's no way. Why would they?" It pisses them off more than anything. Yeah, again, nothing pisses off the left more than when blacks think outside the leftist bubble. Agree. And I'm Jewish. I don't get it. I don't understand any person of color or Jew or woman supporting him. Only white nationalists. See? It's... and that's true right there. He is racist. They think if you are a certain way, you're a certain background, you're a certain skin color, you have to think this way. You have to vote this way. But they still somehow label us as the racist. It's they think for minorities. They're like, we think for them. We tell them what to do, where to stand, how to vote. And when they don't, they get pissed off. They get angry. Something always brought up where the left likes to think for minorities. They like to speak for them. The whole Washington Redskins thing. They're the only reason I even knew about these polls because I listened to Dennis Prager, and he's been reporting them forever. They've done several polls throughout the 2000s and leading up to now. I don't know when they made the change, 2018, 19. They changed the name over. 9 in 10 Native Americans are not affected by the name. 90% are not bothered. 9% think it's offensive. 1% said no opinion. So why did they change the name? They kept doing these polls, too, over and over again. It's because the left are like, we're offended by this. We think it's offensive. And it's just a way to get more votes. Like, see, we're working for you. See, we said this was offensive, and we helped you out. We changed it. And that's why they get so pissed off. It's like, we're doing all these things for you. We are giving everything we can to label the other side as the racist, and you're still going to vote for them? Like, the new ain't black. You're an Uncle Tom. Nothing pisses them off more, and it's insane. I hope more people wake up to it and realize that the racism overwhelmingly comes from the left. As a Trump supporter, I just don't give a damn, what your skin color is. It doesn't mean anything to me. I met some wonderful people who are white, wonderful people who are black, wonderful people who are Asian, wonderful people who are Hispanic, so on. And I've also met some horrible people who are white, and some horrible people who are black, and some horrible people who are Asian, etc. There's decent human beings in this world and indecent human beings. That's it. You're either good or you're bad. If you're a decent human being, you have my respect. Simple as that. And that's what the left doesn't understand. The left thinks if you are a certain way, if you look a certain way, if your skin color is a certain way, you need to act a certain way, you need to vote a certain way, you need to walk a certain way, talk a certain way. And it pisses them off when it doesn't go their way because they waste every minute of their day, every penny they ever had to try to label us as a racist because that's how they want their votes. Because if they lose any more of the black votes than they already got, which I'll pull this article up real quick for you guys. Black men voted for Trump in record numbers, exit poll shows. Although 80% of black men support Joe Biden in the latest presidential campaign, polling showed a record shift away from Democrats, from the Democratic Party and towards President Trump. See, and so I'm saying, so they go all in the details. First of all, I'm surprised that it's even more than that. Joe Biden, the guy that said he didn't want his kids growing up in a racial jungle. The guy that said you ain't black if you don't vote for me. If you don't think a certain way, if you don't act a certain way, you ain't black. That is what former Vice President Joe Biden said. Joe Biden also said blacks are too dumb to get an ID. He said they're too stupid to know how to use a computer, to use the internet. If it wasn't obvious already, and I gotta keep saying, the left think of black people lesser than them, which is the definition of racism. Joe Biden says racist things on a daily basis. I was just watching was it on YouTube Reels? Or no, it's Instagram Reels. This guy playing the clip from Joe Biden where he said we are doomed because eventually whites are not going to be the majority. And he said we are doomed not just because of African Americans, but because Hispanics are going to be taking over. The whites are going to be the minority. It was a leaked. It was a leaked Skype call he did or whatever it was. But it was just one of many examples that Joe Biden on a daily basis says incredibly racist things. He always has through his entire life. He said he was blown away that Barack Obama had proper English. It's the first time we had a black man speak well and have proper grammar. It's amazing. I'm like, it's insane what he has gotten away with. And Donald Trump's never said anything racist, but he gets labeled as the most racist human being in history. I'm like, where are they getting this from? And it was just something I want to bring up that kind of like bothered me because I'm tired of the old narrative of that Republicans are overwhelmingly racist, that they hate black people, and there's nothing showing that. And I think a lot of people are waking up. That's why Trump has record numbers with the Hispanic community, record numbers with the black community, and I think next election we're going to see that increase even more so. The Democratic Party doesn't give a damn about you. If you're black, if you're Hispanic, they've proven that, but most people just don't see it. They're very good marketers. The left, they're very good at selling things, but don't buy their BS. They are the overwhelming racist party. I don't put liberals. There's the left and there's liberals. Liberals are not so much racist as the left are. Left are overwhelmingly racist, which is why they're the ones making the stuff trend on Twitter. They're the ones that are getting pissed off. It angers them so much that there are black people, Hispanics, Asians that are at these Trump rallies because they're like, why the hell are they doing that? They owe us their vote. They owe us their allegiance. And pisses them off. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. It does help the channel a lot. If you want to support the channel and look cool at the same time, you can catch some merch in the description below. I do realize podcast number 2 we uploaded. People were complaining about the audio a little bit. I apologize for that. Our resources aren't great, but I'm going to try my best to clean it up for episode 3. And I think it's going to be better than ever. I'm excited, and you guys can check that on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and my YouTube, and Rumble, and of course, and all that. And I appreciate you guys. God bless, and peace out.